Test. Okay, it's working. So hello and thank you for your time. First of all, how do you feel?
I don't know yet. It's always when you fly in festivals and you have to get up like 3 in the morning and you're kind of in a fly out, change flights and everything. So you're kind of in a zombie limbo mood and just try to sleep when you can. So I compare it to being a soldier. You prepare for war, you sleep when you can, and you just be ready, basically. So
at least you have slept.
yeah, well, I mean, as far as one can sleep on an airplane.
It's difficult to sleep on the camping
I guess with the heat and everything.
with the macumba. My God.
No, but I'll find out when we all get ready for the show. It's we always find the mood, and then it goes from there on. It's a whole That's the good thing about having initiated the ritual as it is, preparing for going on stage, you know, and then once you complete that ritual, you're mentally set for it regardless. So, and then you're able to block out all the other factors.
I will have another question about ritual, but after. So, in a few hours, you will play on the temple stage, and you said, "Are you ready for the show?" You are talking about rituals. How do you prepare for the show?
Well, it's just to put on the makeup is like the biggest part of it. And you sit in front of the mirror, and it's the transformation, and you bring forward all that that energy in you that I'm going to utilize on the show, basically. And that's also why I think it's a nice balance to perform the black metal, because you get an outlet for that side of you, and then it's much easier to find balance in your everyday life, basically. And that's
You need also to be on the mood for playing black metal, maybe.
no, it's not. To play black metal for me is more of a state of mind and a mission, because when 1349 is where we are different from most bands, is that it is formed with a mission. When
Which one?
in '94, when it were a lot of more synth-oriented black metal that came out, and I didn't like that direction that it was heading. I felt that all the aggression and all the grimness that I had fell in love with the black metal was getting lost. And instead of complaining about it, sitting in a pub and complain about it, I formed 1349 just to focus on those energies and that expression that I love about black metal.
Okay, thank you. And what does playing Hellfest mean for the band?
Well, it's a huge potential for getting to play for a lot of fans, and hopefully gain some new fans as well. It is the biggest metal festival in the world. I mean, so you kind of need to play it. So.
Biggest metal festival in the world? I don't know, but at least in Europe right now, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And how did you get prepared for the show? So not only about makeups, but with the repetition, meeting maybe with other people in the band.
No, if we are lucky, we get to rehearse once or twice before a festival, and then during COVID we have a pretty long time period where we didn't rehearse at all, because we came straight off a tour, and 2 weeks later, after we came home from the tour, everything shut down.
Yeah.
So then, but when we then got to rehearse again, I think it was maybe a year later or something. that feeling came back immediately when we were in the rehearsal room and started playing. So then everything came back immediately. I mean, we've been playing together for almost 25 years, you know. So
You
it's
were impatient.
yeah, and we rehearsed a lot when we first started the band, you know, to kind of know each other and figure out how we would function as musicians, and that's all in our backbone, and it comes back when we do stuff like this. So the feeling is there pretty much immediately when we start playing. Then the band energy, as we often refer to as the band has a will of its own, and it kind of controls us to do what it's to do the things that it wants. And
That's nice.
so it's there immediately. Yeah.
Okay. The latest 1349 release, The Infernal Pathway, came out 4 years ago. What do you now think about this album?
Oh, I think it's still the best album that we made to this day. So it's we wouldn't release it otherwise. We always try to make the best album that we can for every release, and if it's not, then we cannot release it basically.
So every new album is the best among the other.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, then you won't progress as a musician. If you're trying to copy yourself or yeah, this song is okay enough, or we just need to fill up the album with a couple of more songs. We don't work that way, and I hope other people don't work that way either, because it will basically kill all inspiration and you as an artist. I mean,
You are trying to improve yourself every time.
yeah, that's life in general. You know, you have to become a better person of yourself every day when you get up, and so also with a musician, and so you have to improve. Life is improvement, you know.
The band has toured a lot since this album is out. How was the crowd's reaction?
It was very good when we toured in the US. It was the first we toured upon the album when it came out in the US. It was the most successful US tour we did, and we toured with ABBA here in Europe, and we hadn't been out on a proper European tour in many years. So it was the reception that we got was amazing. I mean, we were a bit afraid that maybe European crowds had forgot about us. Not since it's been so long time we did a tour, and a proper tour in Europe, but we felt missed. So it was a really nice tour. So we've been truly grateful for what the fans have treated us with.
So I have another question, because I'm interested personally. Do you have time to work on some new material, new song, maybe future new album?
Yeah, there's a new album in progress. So hopefully, if everything goes as planned, it will be out next year. But we'll have to see. But there are some demos that have been recorded, and the wheels are in motion. But
You are still trying to figure out.
oh yeah, it's very early in the process. Yeah, but the kind of the pattern of the music is starting to form. So.
Maybe you have some other comments on the upcoming stuff and tour.
No, it's too early in the process. We haven't. Now it's most of the what we want the new album to sound like, and it's all that, how it's going to look like, all the how should I say, all the fun issues, the artistic issues regarding an album. When the album is done, then's when the hard work starts. Then you have to do a lot of interviews, and you have to go on tour and stuff. But to be in the studio and to make the album, that's what I cherish the most, you know, because then you're kind of in that bubble. With all the of course, playing concerts and meet people is very joyful as well, and I appreciate that. But it's all the logistics in between. I mean, we make I just feel that the more years that we play, the more time we spend on logistics than
Really?
yeah. Unfortunately, I want to do more. Do more.
Logistics like the bus tour, the
Yeah. All the logistics just to get a tour going is, yeah.
and it's expensive.
Oh yeah, and even more expensive now after COVID. So.
I have a question directly related to something. The band always had a strong link with Satanism and misanthropy. How do you feel about openly talking about those topics?
I have no problem talking about that. I'm very comfortable with it. So.
Because, yeah, it's like I like some idea of the Lave Satanism and also of the temple, Satanic temple. So maybe if you want to have a word.
We have four different views on. So it's not Satanism as taken as the direct opposite from Christianity. It's Satan is to me a rebellion, and we all have our personal views of it in the band as well. But to me, I see religion as an abomination and so, just as a control of human beings. So to me, I call upon Satan, so to speak, as a rebellion against that and as a symbol of the free man. But I don't have a belief in Satan as being the opposite of like an antichrist or something. Then that will just follow in the same line, which would be futile for me. And it's devastating also when it comes to growing mentally as a human being. So I'm trying to just expand my mind mentally. So it's more about using techniques and finding knowledge and trying to learn yourself the best, and find ways with your mind, because it's a lot of power that's in your mind.
Okay, I can understand.
So Satan being the free man is basically my personal reference to it.
Quite interesting. Thank you for that. Do you think your stage outfit adds something to the global performance? How did you create it, like the corpse paint, the outfit, etc.?
Yeah, of course, it's all about when the music is aggressive, and if you put on a war paint at the same time, and goggles and gauntlets, I mean, to have a more spiky warrior approach to it. It's just symbolism, that fits into people's mind about it's an act of war, so to speak. It's the closest resemblance that I feel is appropriate.
So the symbolism of your outfit is like the active war, or maybe something else?
So the corpse paint is, I have two ravens painted on my eyes, so that's the mythical aspect of it. And then that combined with it's hard contrast, black and white, and with the lights on stage and everything. It's just make a brutal performance, so to make an impact on people.
Slightly brutal.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It's also you have to remember that if you really we're not there to make people comfortable at a show. We're there to give them an experience, and that could be not always so. We're fully aware that 1349 will never be a blockbuster band, because we are not for the general masses. 1349 is for the very few that understands it, and that is also the meaning behind the band. The more people that understands it, the better it is. But we do what we want to do first and foremost.
but it seems that many people are comfortable with their experience.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think it's
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
You have to find your inner demon and let it out, basically. And we call our music oral hellfire, and so it's a resemblance of the myths of hell, you know. The sound that is made in hell.
Yeah, the sound of hell. That's a good description.
Sound of hellfire, you know. So
Ah.
with the temperature here, it's gonna be adding another dimension to the show. So.
It will be difficult for you. I hope you will be good.
Oh yeah. No, that's no problem. I've been doing worse than this. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember we played in a concrete cellar in Serbia once, and it was so hot when people left the room. It started raining inside because of the temperature change. So
Really?
all the yeah, it was.
Oh my god. Okay. I have another question. It's as a member of a band, maybe you like some other bands, and do you plan to see some bands today?
Maybe I haven't thought about it. I hope to meet the guys again from Full of Hell, which had them support in the US some years ago. They're really cool guys. And but other than that, it's all my mind is set on doing the show, and I haven't thought about going to see other. But I have to see what shape I'm in after the show and what mood I'm in. But yeah, maybe see Gorgoroth. It's always fun, you know. So go and see how they're doing. We also toured with Gorgoroth, so just to meet. It's also with festivals. You meet old friends, even though we live in the same country. We never meet unless we're out in the world. You know, that's where we meet more often out in the world than back home.
Yeah. And so that leads to another question. If you had to pick one guest musician for your next single, who would choose and why? Yeah. Tough one.
Yeah. Well, my first thought, and what I always enjoy the time spent in the studio with Tom Warrior when we recorded Demo Noir and Revelations of the Black Flame, and the chemistry that's between us in the studio is something that I hope to relive at a point in time, and we'll have to see if the chance is there, but yeah, to do more with Tom Warrior would be great.
That's interesting. That was the last question for me. Really, thank you for the interview. Do you have any last words for the French audience, for your French fans?
No, we always enjoy playing in France, and we hope to be back soon, and hopefully also with maybe some new music as well. So.
Yeah,
and
new album, a new tour.
And now I'm just looking forward to see the Tour de France. So the best thing to come out of France, you know, the Tour de France.
I hope you can eat some local food if you want. Really, thank you
No
for your
problem.
time.
Thank you for having me.